This week on Goofing Off.
Kyle covers Dragon Ball Super on Animate.
Brad does a sketch. He really does.
All this and more on Goofing Off. Hello, and welcome to Goofing Off. I'm Kyla Wilfred.
And I'm Dominic from Millimilly.
So, Botanicula? Is that what you're covering? Why does it sound like a spider?
Botanicula. It probably sounds like a spider because it's all about insects and arachnids and plants, but like in a super cute way.
I've never heard of an insect being cute.
Hopefully, Botanicula will show you just how cute they can be. So let's check it out with Games on a Budget. Hi everybody, I'm Dominic from Milloop, and this is Games on a Budget. Today, I'll be looking at Botanicula, a point-and-click adventure game filled with cute characters, beautiful visuals, and an enchanting soundtrack. Botanicula follows the story of 5 little plants who are trying to save their tree from a life-sucking parasite. You'll advance through the game by helping the inhabitants of the tree, solving puzzles, and by just being curious. The game is limited to whatever you're able to click on at the time, but even that simple aspect is used in creative ways. You may need to guide an item through a maze or drag a creature around to create a path for your 5 budding heroes. Sometimes, the puzzle is to simply choose the right character for the job, or to just search the screen for the right thing to click on. The problems never feel impossible to solve and provide enough of a challenge to give you a sense of accomplishment as you carry on. However, Botanicula's gameplay isn't its most remarkable aspect. The brilliance of the game is the wonderful audiovisual journey it takes you on. The opportunity to discover new and beautiful things is reason enough to explore the entirety of an area. As you find new plants and insects, they'll be added as a card in your menu, allowing you to admire their artwork at any time. When you complete a puzzle, your 5 heroes will cheer with excitement and songs will triumphantly play. Most of the things you're able to interact with are only there for fun and reward you with a cute noise, a scene, or a song. Everything in Botanicula absolutely oozes personality, from the tiniest creature you stumble across to the 5 characters you control. You'll get to interact with the life in the tree and take parts in magical events like watching each of the plants receive a wish from their wildest dreams. Just what could a mushroom, a twig, or a bud wish for? You'll have to play the game to find out. It's packed with so many secrets and surprises that are far too wonderful for me to spoil here. Botanicula is a very slow-paced game, but it's far more enjoyable when you take the time to explore every leaf, picture, and sound. It's a fantastic experience that will make you smile, chuckle, and look at the world with a childlike wonder. Botanicula was developed by Aminata Design and can be found on Steam for only $9.99. Know of any good cheap games? Like what I had for you today? Be sure to tweet at ZTV Goofing Off using the hashtag GOAB. Until next time, I'm Dominic from Anticuli, keeping your wallets full with games on a budget.
With all the anime I've watched, I've never seen Dragon Ball.
You should watch it. But Dragon Ball GT is totally the best series. I think it's even Kyle's favorite.
Well, he's covering Dragon Ball Super for Animate, so that might be his new favorite.
Weird. I thought Dragon Ball GT was everyone's favorite. I guess we'll have to hear from Kyle himself, up next on Animate.
Hello anime fans, I'm Kyle Glockner, and welcome back to Animate. There aren't many people who haven't seen Dragon Ball Z, and few who haven't at least heard of it, with many calling it one of the most classic anime of all time, inspiring fights, powers, and screams for years to come. After the manga ended and the anime concluded, Dragon Ball kept itself relevant through the occasional movie and video game release, but about a year and a half ago, Dragon Ball made one of the biggest comebacks in anime history with the release of Dragon Ball Super. Dragon Ball Super continues right from where Z left off, showing us what Goku, Vegeta, and the rest of the Z Fighters have been up to in the years since defeating Majin Buu. A lot of the beginning of Super may sound familiar, and that's because the first 2 arcs of Dragon Ball Super were shown as movies for Dragon Ball Z before being adapted into anime episodes. Now, with a series as big as Dragon Ball, it's not as easy to say what's good, bad, and ugly in this short amount of time, so I'm going to go through each major saga pretty quickly and talk about what they did right and what they did wrong. Keep in mind, there are spoilers ahead. Beginning with the Battle of Gods arc, I really enjoyed the threat that Beerus presents. I mean, sure, Cell and Boo were a challenge for the Z Fighters, but when you see Beerus destroy entire planets on a whim, I can only think back to the terror Frieza brought to the series when we first met him on Namek. There were also some nice moments with Vegeta, as well as a fantastic fight between Goku and Beerus, who, even powered up to Super Saiyan God, still couldn't come close to overcoming the God of Destruction. As far as the bad parts of the arc, my only complaint is that the initial attack of Beerus wasn't fleshed out more. I understand that it was mainly to show how helpless everyone was against Beerus, but they could have at least had the Z Fighters have more than 10 seconds of screen time. Then, we have the return of everyone's favorite space dictator, Frieza. I personally enjoy the fact that they included Gotenks in the fight, and they actually killed Piccolo in the anime, something they avoided doing in the movie. Although, Gotenks was severely underused in this fight, only showing up for about 30 seconds, and while I appreciate the joke of Ginyu coming back, it was pretty underwhelming when Vegeta instantly obliterated him. Overall, considering that this was the resurrection of Dragon Ball's most iconic villain, it was a pretty underwhelming arc. After that, we have the first original arc for Dragon Ball Super, the Universe 6 arc. This arc features a fighting tournament between Universe 7 and Universe 6. This was an incredibly interesting arc, as it showcased 5 brand new characters for the Z Fighters to take on. The good parts of this arc were few, but they were phenomenal. Vegeta had some amazing fights, and an interesting moment with the Universe 6 Saiyan, Kaba. But by far the best moment of the arc was Goku's Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken x 20 transformation against Hit. This was an amazing moment that legitimately sent chills down my spine as I watched this arc. However, the arc has plenty of disappointing moments. The tease of Boo fighting, but taking him out because of the test was really disappointing, and Piccolo's fight was really underwhelming. The arc was incredibly short overall, but this is somewhat excusable, as it was a tournament arc with no subplots going on during the fighting. Overall, it seems like it merely served as a setup to the Universe Survival arc, but I'll get to that later. Up next, we have the most controversial arc, the Future Trunks arc. This arc features the return of Future Trunks confronting an evil version of Goku, who we later find out is the Kaioshin in training, Zamasu, working with himself from another timeline. Now, I said this arc is controversial because while there are some fantastic moments, there are equally terrible moments. The good moments include a fight between Future Trunks and Goku, and by far the best moment was the return of Vegito, showcasing, in my opinion, one of the best fights of Super, from animation to actual content. The bad parts, however, are agonizing to watch. Between long-winded dialogue scenes that are littered throughout the arc, confusing timelines, and overall terrible pacing, this arc is plagued. At 29 episodes, this is the longest arc, but I think they could have wrapped it up in about half that. But now, we get to the current arc, the Universe Survival arc. This arc holds so much potential, allowing us to see a team of 10 fighters from Universe 7. And from what we've seen so far, this arc is going to be intense. The Zen exhibition match was phenomenal, and the tease of Gohan recovering his Mystic form and a potential female Canon Broly, we have a lot to look forward to. Overall, Dragon Ball Super is what GT wasn't. Good. Fans of all Dragon Ball styles can find something they love here. They have comedic moments, awesome moments, and everything in between. Dragon Ball Super is produced by Toei Animation with work from Akira Toriyama himself, and is available for streaming on Crunchyroll with subtitles, with the English dub airing on Toonami every week. I can honestly say that with all the potential of the Universe Survival arc, I'm looking forward to the future of Super. Now that's all the time I have for today, but be sure to let me know what you think by tweeting me at ZTV Goofing Off using the hashtag Animate. Until then, I'm Kyle Glockner, and this has been Animate.
Oh my, look at the time. Looks like we'll have to take a short break. Bye.
If you like what you see here on Goofing Off, be sure to like us on Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and follow us on Twitter.
You're watching ZTV.
So I decided to cover a movie on Goof and Chill this time.
Interesting. What's it called?
It's called Odd Thomas. It's a horror romantic thriller.
How odd. Let's check it out then on Goof and Chill.
Hello and welcome to Goof and Chill. I'm Kyla Wilfred. Today I want to talk to you about one of my favorite movies on Netflix. It's called Odd Thomas. Odd Thomas is set in a small Californian town. There's a young adult who is working at a little diner as a cook. He has a childhood girlfriend and is the son of the police chief. And yes, before you ask, his name is Odd. And he is very. He can see dead people. He can follow and see ghosts, but they don't talk to him. So that becomes a way for him to differentiate from real people and ghosts. It also allows some fun physical bits of humor. Odd goes around and solves murders and crimes. One of his lines even being, "I see dead people, but then I do something about it." You also learn that his mom was able to see ghosts, but she took it a little too public and now lives in an institution. The movie becomes Odd trying to save his town from an unknown looming evil. He starts to follow these Bodaks, which are these strange shadows that pop up when something terrible is going to happen, and he can use them to find clues. But he can't let them know he's following them, or it won't be pretty. From there, the movie becomes a romance, a comedy, a thriller, a horror, and a mystery. Everything someone should look for in a movie. Stormy, or Odd's girlfriend, is beautiful. She and Odd are happy together, so all of the romance isn't about them getting together, it's about them facing everything together, which is my favorite type of romance. There's also a fun comedy as you watch all the characters interact. The mystery and thriller also come from the ghosts and the city being under threat and all of the people who are causing it. This movie has two actors that are absolutely amazing. The first is Anton Yelchin, who was only 24 at the time of the movie. He has also starred in the last 3 Star Trek movies as the young Russian Chekhov. I cannot watch any of his movies without crying. There's so much more Anton could have done. Anyway, sorry. The other great actor in this movie is Willem Dafoe. He played Green Goblin in the first Spider-Man movie, and he also played Gil in Finding Nemo. This movie is based on a book by Dean Koontz, written in 2003. There are 6 sequel novels and 3 prequel graphic novels. So, even though it's only one movie, you can watch and learn even more about Odd. This movie was released in 2013, and there's no planned sequel, and honestly, I wouldn't want one. The movie wraps up nicely, and without Anton, I don't think it's necessary. Well, that's all I have time for you today. Be sure to tweet at ZTV Goofing Off with the hashtag #GoofingShell, and let me know what your favorite Anton Yelchin movie is. Enjoy Netflix searching. So Dom, have you ever heard of SpaceX?
Is that some sort of new and improved version of space?
No, it's a privatized space exploration company. It is the only private company ever to return a spacecraft from low Earth orbit.
Wow, that actually sounds kind of amazing. And I guess it's what Chris is talking about next on Technically Speaking.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff.
Welcome back, fellow goofs. I'm Chris Lewis, and you're watching Technically Speaking. Since 1840, the term manifest destiny has driven the ideals behind American expansion. This concept has seen our country go from a then small closed-off nation to today's most influential superpower. However, that did not satisfy our desire for exploration, and the crowning achievement of manifest destiny was thought to be the moon landing in 1969. But one man is trying to supersede this accomplishment. This one man is none other than Elon Musk, the closest human to becoming a real-life Iron Man. Today, we'll be focused on Elon Musk's Falcon 9 rocket, a groundbreaking feat of engineering that will hopefully yield the first human on Mars. The Falcon 9 comes in 2 configurations. The standard model has 9 Merlin engines assembled in their Octaweb configuration, and the other is the Falcon 9 Heavy, which has 28. For the sake of simplicity, we'll only focus on the standard version. The Falcon 9 is a 2-stage rocket that was designed with reliability in mind. The first stage of the rocket is comprised of the 9 Merlin engines. The Merlin engine is especially exciting because it is the first hydrocarbon engine to be successfully built and flown in the USA in the past 40 years. It also boasts the highest thrust-to-weight ratio of any boost engine ever made. The Merlin engine works by burning both liquid oxygen and rocket-grade kerosene propellant as fuel, which will be stored in aluminum-lithium alloy tanks in the first stage. At sea level, the Falcon 9 will generate 1.7 million pounds of thrust, but in the vacuum of space, this will increase to 1.8 million. That's greater than 5 Boeing 747s at full power. This massive amount of power will be released over a burn time of 167 seconds. The Falcon 9 packs a serious punch. Continue on, the second stage is comprised of one of the Merlin engine, which is attached to the payload of the Falcon 9 and will deliver it to its desired orbit. For reliability's sake, this engine will be able to have redundant ignition, allowing the payload to reach multiple orbits. This singular engine will supply over 200,000 pounds of force and will have a burn time of 397 seconds. Last but certainly not least is the Dragon payload. The Dragon will be the vehicle that may house the first manned mission to Mars. The Dragon made history in 2012 as the first commercial spacecraft to deliver cargo to the International Space Station. It is comprised of two main parts: the pressurized capsule that is used for the housing of humans, cargo, and guidance systems. The capsule also has the Dragon thrusters and an advanced heat shield on the exterior. The capsule's interior configuration is currently being refined with NASA for human travel, with manned missions coming as soon as 2018. The interior is designed to be an enjoyable trip for the astronauts on board, with windows viewable from every carbon fiber seat and cabin temperature control. If I'm going to be honest, it doesn't look that comfortable, but I'd still trade an arm and a leg to be on the first manned mission to Mars. As you can tell, this rocket is amazing, and I haven't even gotten to the best part about it yet. The Falcon 9 wasn't only designed to be reliable, but is also designed to be reusable. Elon Musk stated that after every flight, airlines don't throw away their planes, so why should space travel be any different? After separation, the first stage will navigate itself back towards Earth using a guidance system controlling the grid fins to navigate. It will then land on either a land or an autonomous drone ship in the ocean. The Dragon will also be completely recoverable in successful flights, making the fuel the only loss in the mission. This is phenomenal. During the years of the space shuttle, almost the entirety of the rocket had to be rebuilt, costing us billions of dollars for every trip. But with the Falcon 9, a mission may cost under $1 million for fueling purposes, and thanks to thousands of safety checks on the Falcon 9, we know every mission can be performed safely, or shut down if an error occurs. If I'm being honest, 5 years ago, I never thought a privatized company could do space travel. But looking at the Falcon 9, all my doubts have been cleared. I cannot wait to keep following the development of this rocket and all that SpaceX accomplishes in the next decade. So what do you think about SpaceX's Falcon 9 rocket? And would you go on the Mars mission if you could? Tell me what you think by commenting or tweeting at ZTV Goofing Off using the hashtag GoofTech. I'm Chris Lewis. This was Technically Speaking. Remember, stay goof factoring.
And wait for it.
What are we waiting for?
We're cutting to break right now.
Now?
If you like what you see here on Goofing Off, be sure to like us on Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and follow us on Twitter.
You're watching ZTV.
Get out!
Get out? Where do I go?
Get out! Have you not heard of the new movie, Get Out?
Oh, yeah. Ugh, sorry. Is that what Zoe's talking about on Movie Snobs?
Yep, right now.
Hey everybody, it's Zoe here as your host for Movie Snobs. Today I want to talk about something we all fear, meeting your significant other's family. Guys, we all know meeting your girlfriend's parents can be scary. We saw Ben Stiller meet the parents back in 2000 while getting interrogated by his girlfriend's CIA agent father, played by Robert De Niro. Now fast forward to 2017 with the new movie Get Out. Imagine meeting your girlfriend's family full of upper-class, extra-liberal cult members who have an interesting view on African Americans. Yeah, I'd say pretty intense. What could go wrong with a neurosurgeon father and a psychiatrist mother who practices hypnosis? Nothing, right? Get Out stars Daniel Kaluuya, who plays Chris, and Allison Williams stars as Rose. Chris and Rose have made it far enough in their relationship where it's time to meet mom and dad. Rose takes Chris to her family's estate for the weekend, forgetful of the fact that it's the yearly Armitage family reunion. As the weekend progresses, Chris grows uneasy with the overbearing kindness and accommodations Rose's parents, Missy and Dean, make to have their daughter's interracial relationship feel comfortable within the family. Things start getting really weird, let me tell you that. His only lifeline outside the lake house is his best friend Rod, played by Laurel Howery. Through casual phone calls and interesting coincidences, they are led to their own discoveries, which both of them could have never imagined. Enough about the plot, you'll have to see it for yourselves to get the full story. Now, I want to give a major shout out to Jordan Peele. Most of us know him from the comedic duo Key and Peele in their show on Comedy Central. Get Out is the first movie he directed and one of the couple he has wrote. It's witty, energetic, realistic, and very, very tasteful. Even though Get Out is in the thriller horror genre, the movie has a lot of funny moments. The comedic aspects are not slapstick or intentionally funny, but realistic. It's relatable and understandable to the audience. Peele definitely has raised some standards for the horror flick nowadays. An important thing I want to talk about in Get Out that has been getting a lot of hype is what's going on in today's society. Racism is a hot topic in today's world. Race is hard to talk about and is generally portrayed in movies as dramas or comedies. Peele's creative talents took the audience in the thriller direction. Racism is scary in its common conceptions. Peele makes the overabundance of kindness and aggressive behaviors of being unracist, which is known as benevolent racism, just as gut-wrenching and terrifying. Get Out definitely had me feeling some type of way the whole time. Get Out is being referred to as a social thriller. Film is one of the best ways to convey controversial messages to people without getting a lot of backlash. Peele not only wrote this movie about a specific type of racism that has been swept under the rug, but has done it in a very tasteful, thought-provoking fashion. White privilege is exemplified on a societal level, but also in small settings like the Armitage family reunion. Peele writes a story in such ways that casual conversations can be taken as merely comedic ignorance and awkwardness between racial tinged situations or in a more dark, savage meaning. Social issues are very relatable and has audiences doing a lot of self-reflection. Get Out was a great movie. It has a lot of screams and a lot of laughs. It was very refreshing for me to watch a movie that was scary with exceptional acting, dialogue, and plot. It definitely has a wild ending, so I suggest you seeing it. Jordan Peele has changed the game for horror movies. The social thriller has left audiences with an undesirable feeling in their stomach. The messages conveyed are worth talking about, and the unanswered questions are not to be explained from the film, but by society itself. Well, I think it's time for me to get out of here, but tweet me at ZTV Goofing Off with the hashtag #MovieSnobs and tell me what you think of Chris meeting Rose's family. I'm Zoe DeMarcus, and this chick has to catch a flick. I'll see you at the theaters.
This is already episode 3. I feel like the semester is flying by.
Yeah, you know what they say, third time's the charm?
And this one does seem to be going better than normal. But I think that's all we have time for today.
Be sure to like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and subscribe to our YouTube account for extra content. I'm Dominic from Mumu.
And I'm Michaela Wilfred. Thank you for taking the time to goof off with us.
And wait for it.
What are we waiting for?
We're cutting to break right now.
Now? Hey, Macarena.
God, dude, go. Goof. Bring the goof.
Anyway, here's Cameron with Retro Rewind.
Gotta go fast.
How about that joke faster?
I forgot I had to go fast. Botanicula.
Botanicula?
Botanicula.
Botanicula.
This program was produced by ZTV at the University of Akron. To find out how you can make Emmy-winning media, visit the UA School of Communication online. ZTV. Make media. Make a difference.